Tonight, we're bringing you an inspiring story of hope and perseverance, a story we've been following for a couple of months now. A young man on the verge of going blind, racing to save his eyesight. Take a look at this. And with that, more than 15,000 runners took to the streets to participate in the Austin Marathon. This grueling 26.2-mile course was especially challenging for one particular participant who ran the full marathon blindfolded with a guide.
He's doing great.
Where are we so far?
I don't know.
Mile 4.5-ish.
His name is E.J. Scott, and he is slowly going blind. About 10 years ago, E.J. was diagnosed with choroideremia, or CHM, a genetic eye disease that slowly erodes your peripheral vision and eventually your central vision. E.J.'s brother and 7-year-old nephew have also been diagnosed with this disease, and there is no cure.
Keep it up, good job!
So E.J. decided he had to take action to raise awareness and funding for CHM. He's running 12 marathons this year, one a month, hoping to raise $12,000 per race. E.J. has to run each race blindfolded because cumulative exposure to sunlight would further damage his eyes.
Let's go, E.J.!
Austin was race number 2.
He's got it. He's got it.
Before the race, E.J. met up with 7-time Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong, whose Livestrong Cancer Foundation sponsored the event.
When I read the article in the paper this morning, I was like, blindfolded. I'm like, I'm gonna walk over to the coffee pot blind. I mean, you just cover my eyes. And you know, people take things for granted in life, obviously, and you know, your sight is something that obviously is most of us take for granted. All of us take for granted. When you think about it, I mean, 26 miles. How many steps is that? 5 hours. It's thousands and thousands of steps. I mean, we all take a step and we see where we're going, for the most part, all of us, and you know, it's admirable. I can't even imagine.
After 6 hours running blindfolded, E.J. and his guide crossed the finish line.
I feel really good that I finished. My legs I got a bunch of pain going on.
A proud moment for E.J. and his mom.
You know, he's really accomplished so much, and I'm just really incredibly proud of what he's doing for himself and for so many other people.
Just an emotional high, really. Seeing him coming in at the end there. And so, I mean, he really did a great job. He really did.
With us to discuss E.J.'s efforts to find a cure for his eye condition, it's called choroideremia, is Dr. Albert McGuire. He's an associate professor of ophthalmology at the University of Pennsylvania. And, of course, joining me in the studio, E.J. Scott, whom you just saw enduring a grueling 26-mile run blindfolded this past Sunday. So how'd you do?
I finished in 5 hours, 41 minutes, but I finished and uninjured, so that's a win for me.
Where can people go to help contribute? You're going to do a race a month, right?
One a month, yep.
Where can people go to contribute to your cause?
CureCHM.org is the best place to go. You can learn about the disease and find a page that has a PayPal just for my runs and things like that. Yeah.
And basically the disease is an accumulation of proteins in the retina, the part where your images are reflected on your eye. Mm-hmm. That's where images come in and then transfer that information back to your brain. Yeah. And you have a gene that doesn't produce proteins normally that basically move proteins within cells.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so stuff accumulates in there.
Yeah, and I'm down to, if each eye can see 90 degrees, I'm down to my teens for each eye. So I've lost a lot.
We actually don't, if you guys can, in the control room, get me that picture out here. We had actually we tried to illustrate your vision loss, what it would look like from your point of view. Right. Put that up there if you could. There would be normal vision. And you said it's like looking through 2 paper towels.
It's more one paper towel, like you said last week. It's like binocular.
Yeah. It comes together as one.
It comes together as a tunnel vision type thing. Yeah.
Right. And is your vision okay in the central area?
It's okay in the central area. I could see you pretty well, but if you were to raise your hand up and put fingers up, I can't see it at all.
And is that central area going to go?
Yeah. Eventually, that'll be all gone.
It's got to be tough for the people around you. We saw your parents there.
Mm-hmm.
I met your girlfriend, and she seems extremely supportive.
Super.
Can I mention her name, or is that going to...
No, go ahead.
You tell me her name.
Deborah Ann Wool.
Deborah Ann Wool, and I got a picture with her, and my daughter, who's a fan of her television show, almost died. Right. Nothing ever has been as important in my career as having my picture with her.
Well, I agree.
But I mean, it must be interesting for her too, and your parents to support you while you go through this.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have that support. I mean, my parents came out for that marathon. They live in New York, and they came out to that one. And the next one's going to be in Los Angeles. My girlfriend will be at that one. She actually surprised me for last month in Arizona. She just showed up.
There you guys on red
me.
carpets. There
Yeah,
you are.
yeah.
Fantastic.
My one suit.
You're well, it looks pretty good, I must say.
Thanks.
Now, I want to go out to Dr. McGuire, who's working and fighting to do something for this condition. Did I get the condition right? Is that a way to explain it? And then what are we looking forward to in the future as potential treatments for this problem?
You got that exactly right. It's a loss of both side vision and also night vision. A lot of these patients need to count the number of steps to get from point A to point B at night because they have absolute blindness at night. And where we're going, we've developed a drug with a gene therapy technique, and we've treated animals that have the same exact genetic condition, and they've shown some very promising rescue. And we've also treated the disease in cells, not retinal cells, but other cells in these choroideremia patients. And in the Petri dish, it does cure the disease. They make the normal protein that the retina needs.
So is this some sort of viral carrier that inserts itself into the genetic structure of those retinal cells?
That's correct. It's basically a neutered virus where a gene is spliced into the virus, and it piggybacks the normal gene into the cells, and the cells make the patient cells make the protein for the rest of their life, hopefully.
Now, but Dr. McGuire, now that seems to me is something that would help someone who is developing the condition. What do we do for EJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to know.
Good question. Well, a lot of first of all, the earlier treatment, the better, of course, because we're trying to rescue cells, and if they're not there, we can't rescue them. If they're completely gone, then we move on to other techniques like stem cell therapy that's being developed. Most of the choroideremia
but again, I want to know is there some way to reverse the protein buildup in the cells that he has to improve his vision, or is it really just about arresting the progress?
It's mainly arresting the progress. I mean, you see that EJ seems to function quite well, and the choroideremia patients are amazing in how they're able to function with what little vision they have, and most are, everybody would like them to have better vision, but certainly we don't want them to have any less vision than they do.
Now, EJ, you actually met the 7-time Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong before the race. We saw a little bit of footage of that. Now, he had heard about EJ's effort to raise money for choroideremia research and he actually reached out to EJ, wanted to meet him. So take a look at this.
I mean, a marathon is you're doing 12, but it's one of these things where people, if they do one in their life, they feel like they've done something. And I mean, it could be a marathon, it could be the Ironman, or a triathlon, or a century bike ride, or all these things.
That's how it started with me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go for it.
I did my first marathon in 2010 in Chicago, and I never thought I'd do another one.
This one's hillier than that one.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I did that one, and I was like, wow, I really did something.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do something more.
Yeah, absolutely. So you decided to do 12.
It was catchy. It was like 12 and 12.
What's next? Maybe, 52 and 52.
Yep, Tour de France.
I know Lance very well myself, and he's a very cool guy, and he really is intent on getting behind these kinds of things. It must have been cool for you.
It was very cool for me, and thinking about it, he's done so much, just one person becoming such a figure in the cause that he's working on, and I'm not even, if I can make it a fraction of the way that he's at, the impact, that'd be amazing.
That would be great. I mean, he's just had a huge impact.
Yeah.
Well, next up, we're going to look at where EJ is